Right, so for today's video, we're going to be talking about a situation that has definitely annoyed a lot of people over the past few days. And it's all revolving around this TikToker right here called HTS9292 or Hillary. Now, usually when I say that, I show like the profile, right? I can't do that anymore because the profile is gone. But we do have a few of the videos that have been re-uploaded from this user right here called Saw Not Seen. And of course, we're going to be starting on the original video. So this is the video in particular that got a lot of backlash. So it starts off with Hillary explaining that she spent a year planning a trip to Disney.
Put a finger down if you spent 1 year saving and planning for a trip to Disney for your entire family for your daughter's 5th birthday. You have the resort book, the stroller reserve, the shuttles, the meal plan, the lightning lane, all the things, all the Disney things. If you've been to Disney, you know.
But then we start hearing about how over a short period of time, her whole family were basically getting ill with this virus. It started off with her daughter, then it went to Hillary.
It's been 1 year doing this. And the night before you leave to go on this trip, your daughter says she doesn't feel so good. And a little bit later, she starts throwing up everywhere. And then a few hours later, you start throwing up everywhere.
Hillary explains that they decided to make the journey anyways, but then her son actually starts getting ill as well.
So you get up the next morning, after 0 hours of sleep, and you decide to make it to Birmingham, where your flight leaves out of. You're going to make the 2-hour drive to Birmingham and reevaluate the situation when you get to Birmingham. Throw everything in the car, get everybody buckled in, and you hit the road. And the next thing you know, your 7-month-old is throwing up in his car seat.
And then eventually her husband also starts feeling ill. At this point, they're on the plane.
But we're in it deep, okay? You get to Birmingham, get through security, get to your gate, board this plane against your better judgment, okay? You get strapped in. And at this point, your husband's not doing so well, okay? He's not doing so well. And you take off, and your 7-month-old has the most diabolical, ungodly blowout in his diaper.
Yeah, so at this point, Hillary goes on to describe this, and it's a bit graphic, right? So I'm not going to play it, but long story short, and in a less graphic way, it's a big mess. Her son's not feeling too well. She mentions that it goes over her husband. She only has like 2 wipes with her, so it's hard to clean. Then the stuff that she's used to clean, she's kind of wrapped in this blanket that she has with her. Basically, her whole family have this really bad like stomach virus, it sounds like, right? And as you can imagine, the reason why this video's received a lot of backlash is because a lot of people are questioning why they would even get on the plane in the first place. Something that a lot of people have brought up is the fact that Hillary mentions in a future video that they had travel insurance. So in theory, they could have cancelled the trip and got their money back and decided not to do that. And yeah, by the sound of it, this is a really bad virus. It actually gets to the point where she talks about how her husband has to throw up on the plane. They finally arrive at Florida, everyone's ill, her husband actually has to have a wheelchair because he feels like he's gonna pass out.
And you're naked, baby. Because you didn't have an extra set of clothes in the diaper bag. He had on a diaper, but he's naked. And you have to immediately find a wheelchair because your husband says he's about to pass out. You have to find a wheelchair in this airport, put your husband in it, hand him your naked 7-month-old, and get your little 4-year-old little girl and wheel your entire family through the Orlando airport to baggage claim, to then go get on a shuttle, to wait an hour for a shuttle and ride the shuttle for another hour to get to Disney, to spend a week at Disney.
Now, obviously, we can't look at the original comment section here because the account's gone, right? So we can't see it, but we can see the comment section on this re-upload. And it's filled with a lot of people saying stuff like this, saying, put a finger down if this should be illegal because of how many people you consciously put at risk. Another comment here saying, picture this, you're fully aware of your family's sickness, experiencing all the telltale signs and symptoms, yet you still decide to embark on a trip, potentially putting others at risk. Is she really seeking sympathy for her choices? And then another comment here saying, as an individual with leukemia who took her 2 children to Disney in February of last year, This is pretty upsetting to hear. All three of us got so sick on our 4th day there, even after taking all the precautions and doing all the right things. Do better. And not only did this result in a lot of backlash in the comment section, but also a bunch of response videos.
What was the fucking husband thinking by allowing? My husband would be like, Nicole, we're not going. We're not going. We can fix this. We are not going to Disney World today. Like, we're not going. The family is violently ill. We're not, Nicole, we're not going to Disney. Secondly, I had this virus. This is the most mortifying, disgusting, vile virus that you can contract. Okay? I was like completely mortified in my own shame because I didn't know which way it was coming out.
So at this point, Hillary starts making some response videos. She talks about how she feels like she was delusional that day. She also hopes that no one got sick.
We were delusional idiots that day, okay? Of the worst kind. And we deserved everything that happened to us on that plane. We did. And I hope to God that no one else got sick. And I still to this day think about the people on that plane. This happened 2 years ago and I still think about those people. I'm mortified. I don't like those people. I don't like those people that send their kids to school sick and get on planes sick, travel sick, or I don't like those people. We don't like those people.
And at this point, Hillary goes on to respond to a lot of the criticism, which is, you had travel insurance, why didn't you cancel?
And what makes it even worse is we had insurance on this trip, okay? However, when we had the conversation of, you know, do we go ahead with the trip? Do we, you know, call the travel agent? Like, what do we do? It was at like 4:30 or 5 in the morning that we had to make this decision because we had to leave to go to the airport to catch our flight by 5 or 6. It's very early in the morning, not the best time to be making phone calls and trying to figure this whole thing out. And at that point in time, it was just me and my daughter that were sick. We didn't know anyone else with any kind of sickness, stomach flu, like nothing. We didn't know anybody else that was sick. And husband and baby, mom and dad, my mom and dad, who were also on this trip, everybody else is fine. Just me and her. We weren't actively sick anymore. Me and her did share a meal the night before, or the day before. Just me and her. And really did. Maybe it was ours. And I mean, the food was, or something we ate.
Okay, so as you heard, she's saying that she thought it was something that they ate. That's the reason why they didn't feel so well. And then goes on to say, with that in mind, it wasn't worth ringing like travel agents or whatever else to like cancel a trip or reschedule flights.
And we'll rest when we get to Disney. And it's not worth, you know, tracking down the travel agent or making these phone calls, moving flights. It wasn't worth that if that is the worst thing that happens.
But then ends the video by saying that looking back on that day, she wishes that they didn't go on the trip.
And yes, hindsight is 20/20, and we 100% looking back, we should not have gone on that trip. I do not recommend, encourage any of that behavior. Would do it differently. And I paid for it dearly, okay?
Yeah, I mean, as we heard earlier, apparently this was 2 years ago at this point, right? And Hillary's kind of just decided to make the video and now kind of explain what happened. And also, from everything we're hearing here, it sounds like the virus was really bad. So, judging by that, there obviously is a bit of a big possibility that it did make someone else ill on the plane or at the airport, whatever, like anywhere, right? Which is of course the main reason why people are annoyed when they see situations like this, because if there is somebody that doesn't have like a very strong immune system for whatever reason, this could really affect them really badly. And then at that point, it's ruined somebody else's trip, who then could have spread it to somebody else, and it could be this big snowball effect, right? And even after this explanation video has been posted, it's very clear that people are still very annoyed about the situation, and Hillary goes on to post a couple more videos as well. In the most recent video I can find, it's Hillary kind of questioning where she got the virus from.
It could have been from the pageant, the grocery store, someone sending their sickly kid to daycare, and that person could have been selfish and only thinking about themselves with zero regard for other people. It could have been from someone like that. And if I'm honest, have all at one point in time made decisions that reflect that type of mentality.
She also goes on to say that it could just be from someone who was doing the best under the circumstances that they were given, and she has no ill will towards them people.
Or it could have been from someone that was doing the best that they could with the circumstances that they were given. However, flawed or impaired their judgment and not wise, decision-making skills. And if they were at that pageant, especially if they were at that pageant, it was from someone that was probably trying to make something happen for their kid. And I have no ill will towards that person.
And then Hillary ends the video by saying that person is still a human being and were probably doing the best they could, and they just made a mistake.
Person is a human being, and more than likely was doing the best that they could at the time with the circumstances they were given, and being human made a mistake. So, with that being said, I will post a video with more of the story, and if you're interested, you can watch that.
Yeah, so as we heard at the end of the video, Hillary says she's going to post another video with more of the story. I haven't seen that, so I don't know if that ended up getting posted. Obviously, the account's gone now, right? So I can't check. But even looking at the comment section on this video, people's opinions haven't really changed. So with all that being said, I would love to know your opinions in the comment section down below on everything that we spoke about in today's video, on the original video, on like the response videos, on the follow-up videos that we saw from Hillary. Just let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you're new here and you want to see more videos, feel free to subscribe. That would be lovely. And yeah, until the next one, I'll see you guys in a bit. All right, goodbye.